both by the alarming levels of spread and severity and by the alarming levels of inaction. We have therefore made the assessment that COVID-19 can be characterized as a pandemic.
New confirmed cases of coronavirus.
Coronavirus recorded a 10th case of COVID-19.
Rising number of cases.
Coronavirus pandemic.
That's really the definition of a pandemic.
Since the beginning of 2020, the world has been shocked by an outbreak that has spread rapidly throughout the world, which has resulted in the closure of areas around the world and causes disruption of all human activities. This outbreak is caused by SARS-CoV-2, or most known as coronavirus. Even though the chaos due to this virus only appear and start to visible to the world eyes in March 2020, however, the first case of infection due to this virus occurred since 2019. To be precise, in December 2019 in the capital of Hubei province of China, Wuhan. In short time, many people blame China for this outbreak. Therefore, China decided to offer help in what's called medicine diplomacy in the name of humanity. In this video, we will try to explain the real reason behind this policy and if it works. As of 16 December 2020, positive cases of corona in the world has reached more than 73 million cases with more than 1.6 million deaths. In an instant, the world experienced a number of crises, not only the economic crisis but also the medical equipment crisis. Due to the high demand from all places around the world, face masks and disinfectant being sold everywhere, suddenly the price hit the highest point in the market and makes it hard for hospital and medical personnel to get medical supplies and equipment that they really need to handle positive cases that are rampant everywhere. China sees this new crisis as an opportunity to fix its image as the source of this outbreak by offering to be willing to provide all kind of medical equipment for countries that need it in facing the novel outbreak. Many call of this effort of China as mass diplomacy, some said medical diplomacy, and some also see as medicine diplomacy. Then, what has been contributed by China so far?
In the show of solidarity and responsibility to combat the COVID-19 pandemic, China has been sending medical equipment such as masks, ventilators, and shipment of other precious protective equipment to country in the midst of the global coronavirus outbreak, and has provided $20 million to the World Health Organization. The Chinese government also has donated medical equipment to the ASEAN Secretariat. Moreover, China has also helped countries in Europe that have high positive cases of COVID-19 like Italy, France, Spain, Greece, Serbia, and other European Union countries. Not only exporting tons of medical equipment, China also sent medical experts to Italy. Meanwhile, in Spain, China provides 500,000 masks and has shipped 1 million masks to France, and other EU countries will receive 2 million surgical masks, 200,095 masks, and 50,000 test kits. Furthermore, Pakistan has also received about 15,000 test kits, while Japan has received 100,000 masks and South Korea has received 5 million masks. According to China Ministry of Foreign Affairs, China has provided assistance to 82 countries. Not only the government, some China private sector also offered to provide medical equipment for other countries. One example is China's businessman Jack Ma. He offered 500,000 test kits and 1 million masks to the United States and to many other countries, including 54 countries in Africa. The other example of private sector is China's telecommunication company, Huawei. Huawei has offered to donate masks and other medical equipment to Canada and Ireland. Another China agenda in medicine diplomacy is developing vaccine. China authorities have been taking action toward developing a vaccine since the beginning of the epidemic. Vaccine research and development was the scientist's main task. Another scientist who heads a team studying disease immunology at a university in China says that the government has encouraged researchers to switch to COVID-19 vaccine research. China promised and granted to countries in Southeast Asia, Africa, and some other developing countries that they will be the first in line when the vaccines are ready and give priority access to the coronavirus vaccine. Some China companies have also signed agreements with some of these developing countries to test and manufacturing the vaccine. However, despite all the action and donation that have been done by China, there rise a question about China's real intent. Why does China really want to help other countries? Is it really just simply humanitarianism? In this case, everyone in the world already knows that the main reason that caused worsening of this COVID-19 is because the Chinese authorities tried to cover it up when the first cases broke out. And what is being done now is China trying to ease friction with countries that blame China for the pandemic by providing, donating medical equipment and developing a vaccine. According to George said, medical aid from China might swing public opinion in Europe to support China more. For instance, in Hungary, where the Prime Minister has repeatedly thanked China for supplying masks. Meanwhile, in Serbia, the president kissed China's flag when medical equipment arrived, and the government has introduced health policy advocated by China, but used almost nowhere else in Europe.
Ja sam danas uputio posebno pismo, jer mnogo toga očekujemo i najveće nade polažemo u jedine koji mogu da nam pomognu. U ovoj teškoj situaciji to je Narodna Republika Kina.
Also, the billboard of President Xi Jinping flashed alongside the word "Thanks, Brother Xi" in Serbian street. In Cambodia, government are banning foreigners from entering Cambodia, but the government allowing Chinese troops entering Cambodia for military exercise.
Why China insists on its medicine diplomacy? We can analyze China's medicine diplomacy through role theory or their national role conceptions. According to K.J. Holsey, role theory or role conceptions is how a nation views itself or how policymakers see the role that their nation play in international arena. In role theory, the aspects examined are beliefs, images, and identities developed or believed by individuals or policymakers which underlie decisions that are considered the most appropriate or suitable to their state in certain situations. The reason why we choose this theory is because we believe that it will help us to understand China's behavior that determined by what current role they see themselves as in this pandemic. A national role conception cannot be separated from the policymakers' own ideas of kinds of decisions, commitments, rules, and actions that they consider suitable for the state and of the functions of how should the state perform in both domestic and international systems. It consists of policymakers' own image of the appropriate orientations or functions of their state in facing the domestic and global environment. As we know, under President Xi Jinping, China wants to recognize as the great power. They do many things to achieve this role, including launch the Belt and Road Initiative. They also had launched multilateral financial institutions and has become the key proponents of globalization by providing financial assistance and loans, and also help building infrastructure in more than 100 countries. All of these aims to gain more knowledge from the international stage that they worth the role. Individuals who make foreign policy decisions experience a lot of pressure from many sides, both domestic and internationally. Unstoppable criticism from many parts of the world definitely is one of many reasons why China decided to make this foreign policy. The non-transparency acts of China government in the early stage of the pandemic creates bad images of China. This could be a potential obstacle for China in achieving their goals to gain a great power role. Therefore, China government starts to donating health supply to some countries and act as a reliable and responsible global leader. Through this medicine or mass diplomacy, China tried to reshape their image to maintain its influence in the world as rising power. By assist and help other countries in facing the COVID-19, China tries to change the narrative on COVID-19 from the cause of pandemic to a responsible and reliable partner. China also using COVID-19 to try to portray itself as an essential global power. They try to show that it is a manufacturing powerhouse and the largest producer of medical equipment such as masks, gloves, ventilator, and other ICU facilities. It has the capability and the capacity to provide global public goods, especially when the developed West, led by the United States, has failed to do so at the moment. Therefore, we can understand that their foreign policy emerged because China is concerned about its global image and standing in world affairs.
After trying to understand China action, now we know that China is gathering its power to gain greater influence in the international world. To achieve this, of course, China needs both hard power and soft power. The soft power can be seen as the non-harmful way to gain influence, to make other countries admiring its values, emulating its example. Hence, the state can have good reputation and gain trust from other states that can be used to pursue or even mobilize voting in international stage without using threats and coercion. Therefore, in this case, the medicine diplomacy can be seen as China's soft power equipment to win goodwill as an effort to gain great power role or global leadership role that it has long aspired to take on. As we stated before, in some countries like Serbia, Hungary, and Cambodia, China gained huge success. Nonetheless, for many other Western countries, China has not fully achieved their trust yet. Despite all the effort to assist many states in the world, China's effort seems not quite successful. It is because many states seem already lost their trust in China due to how badly China handling the virus in the early stage before it leaks across the world. The non-transparency from China once again caused it to lose world trust, repeating the SARS outbreak in 2003. According to the Associated Press report, China already knew that the virus could possibly spread from human to human transmission, and they were also aware that it could possibly become pandemic since the end of January 2020. Yet, they did not seem to want to share this information with the rest of the world that could probably save many lives if they did it. Instead, they thought that everyone who tried to warn the world about the virus is just spreading rumors. The other reason that makes this diplomacy unsuccess is that many states do not want to buy China-made medical equipment due to high complaint about the substandard quality products that China produces. In Netherlands, they received 600,000 defective China-made masks, and in the Czech Republic, they received 80% defective masks from their total purchase that worth $600,000. In another case, Spain government have to withdraw 58,000 COVID-19 rapid test kits from China due to only 30% accuracy rate. Nearly the same as Spain, Philippines Health Department found out that the China-made coronavirus kit tests that they received were only 40% accurate. In addition, Georgia also received 1,000 substandard test kits that they bought from a Chinese company. As a rising power, image in international eyes is one of the important things for China to gain their influence. However, in the ongoing case of COVID-19, China remained unsuccessful in maintaining their image. The hero role that they try to play is quite obvious that they just want to be seen as a reliable state and try to make people forget that the problem itself comes from their country. The opportunity they try to seize in the middle of the crisis still haven't reached their objective fully. Nevertheless, we have to anticipate how China's next strategies in fixing this in the future. Thank you for watching, and we hope this video is informative and useful for you.